Hello, everyone, and welcome into week 4 of the Mike Turner Show. A frustrating one on the road for Carson-Newman's Eagles as Carson-Newman fell at Newberry 23-3. Hello, I'm the voice of the Eagles Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. And Mike, a contest at Newberry that ultimately ends up being a 5-year low for the Eagles offense. Last time held without an offensive touchdown, it was 2013 at Lenore-Ryan, and the fewest yards gained since that game as well. Felt like you had a good game plan heading into the contest. What happened there Saturday at Setzler Field?
Well, it was just a day of frustrations. It was a day of not executing. It was a day of missed assignments. Gosh, I don't. There's not anything wrong with those kids want to. We've just got to keep coaching them better. We tried 2 or 3 different things right there. We had everything set up like we wanted it to be. Had assignments made for a body-to-the-body type deal, and we just didn't get it done. And that's the hardest part when you've got first half drives that, or 14, 16 plays, you know what I mean? You're eating up the clock in the first quarter. You're keeping the defense off the field. You didn't get points out of it. We've got to learn to execute better. When the kids look at this film like I looked at it earlier this morning, they're going to see that and go, there it was. It was right there in front of us. So we got to go back to work on that part, and we will. And we're still in great position. We're sitting there where we still have a chance to control what happens with us, and we've got to go with a little bit more urgency.
This team in years past has been very successful when it's been in this situation. I was talking to Michael Watring after the game. It feels like 2-2 has been a regular occurrence, and then the steamroller gets moving and the ball rolls downhill.
Right.
What is it about the mentality of this team in years past that has enabled it to be successful sitting at 2-2?
Well, I think anybody worth their character and worth their salt is going to come out when you got your back to the wall. You come out swinging, and you come out to prove people wrong. It would be great that we didn't have to worry about getting our backs to the wall. Mm-hmm. That would be fantastic to be 3-1 at this time or 4-0 like we should be. But hey, we've got to go to work and realize who we are, what we do best, where we are, and what we can do to be successful, and to continue to get better at it.
Carson-Newman falls on the road to Newberry, 23-3. We'll break down the first half when we get back after this on the Mike Turner Show.
Serving East Tennessee for 40 years, Magaha Electric is the perfect choice for all your electrical projects. Magaha Electric specializes in commercial, retail, manufacturing, residential, and industrial contracting needs. Magaha Electric can provide superior service, technical know-how, and realistic budgeting for any size project in a timely, cost-effective manner. Visit MagahaElectric.com for all your electrical contracting needs. Magaha Electric, your East Tennessee electrical contracting source.
Back on the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman falls at Newberry 23-3. Mike, you alluded to it earlier on in the program. Had some things brewing on the opening possession. A 16-play, 82-yard drive. You chewed up 8 minutes and 10 seconds of clock. Had the ball down at the 13. Penalty brought it back outside the 30. And then Derek Evans throws in an interception. How much did that change the complexion of, at the time, what was a scoreless game?
Well, I understand how the flow of the game can, those kind of things. But gosh, when you've had that kind of success, even though we struggle for everything we got, but we did earn everything we got getting down to that point. And the call there that was made that took us inside the 10 maybe, or somewhere down there, I think, took us inside the 10. That was on the edge, but that was a penalty, so we brought it back. And then we thought we had a great play there was run the play action pass with an inside receiver on the up, and it was open, and we just didn't quite get it out of our hands in time, or maybe a little bit deeper. But the kids were battling, and now to come away from that, we turned the ball over at the 2-yard line. All right, that's a pretty good way to start somebody off at the -2. But you can't have, it can't be the situation, and it can't be my feelings, and that can't dictate how you play. in this game and in this kind of game, there's only going to be so many possessions that you're going to get anyway. Both teams are playing the same way. So you got to make sure that you understand, hey, we're going to get the ball back. Let's go get it, and let's go get it in there. And you've got to keep the same level of enthusiasm, the same level of belief, and just go back and produce.
That two-possession swing, Markel Castle takes a reverse 57 yards to the house, 4 missed tackles on that play. That play happens 2 drives later. Does he score?
Probably not. Probably not. When we were in position there to make the play on the reverse, and our kids were there, and gosh, our kids on defense fought hard all day. Of course, there was mistakes made, but gosh, they played hard. They kept them out of the end zone. You take that one out of there, and it's a matter of a couple field goals probably. But we didn't put them in the hole on offense, and they had to earn everything they got from our kids, and they played hard. But we played well enough on defense to have won the football game, no doubt.
Give up 299 yards. You take away the pick six late in the fourth quarter, which one of those fluky plays where a kid bobbles it, and Newberry's David Vereen was in position to make a play as a result. But you take that away, you hold them to 16 points. Right. Could you be any happier with the defense?
No, I think 16 points. In college football today, if you can hold somebody under 21, that's a great goal, and that's one of our goals with our defensive team is to hold somebody under 21. We've got to score points. In college football today, there's not going to be very many 3-0 games anymore. You've got to outscore people, and we've been doing that the last couple of weeks. And then yesterday, it wasn't a matter of penalties, it wasn't a matter of turnovers, it was just a matter of execution.
You talk about the penalties. You went from 16 for 136 yards against Wingate in week 3 to 4 for 45 this past week against Newberry. Granted, 3 of those wiped first downs off the board offensively, but they weren't pre-snap. At least they were, I guess, what you would call aggressive penalties.
They were aggressive penalties, and the one in the kicking game was a block in the back, which put us from the 30-yard line out to back inside the 15. There goes field position. And the penalties that we got on offense, we had a block in the back, and we had, I think, a holding call or whatever. And all of those came after big plays on offense where you were first down pluses. The first one there, the block in the back, we're inside the 5, I think, somewhere like that, ready to score a touchdown, and got it called back. So it was just an inopportune times. But hey, those things happen in the game. They're going to happen. And if we just keep making big plays, that's what we got to have. And yesterday, our output on first down at times was great. You got them working 2nd and 5, but it was not. I really didn't feel like there was a time in that ball game that we weren't in control of what we're supposed to do, because they didn't show anything different. Our kids knew exactly what to do, how to practice it. Just got to get it executed.
Carson-Newman was down at the break for just the second time in Mike Turner's career against Newberry, and we take a look at those first half highlights.
Williams switching spots with Henderson in the gap left side. Snap back to Ruff. It's a reverse to the right side, or to the left side, pardon me, for Castle. Castle avoids Jason Cook and Calhoun in the backfield. Breaks free along the left sideline, cutting back right to the 20. Castle inside the 10, steps through a Williams tackle, and Castle bursts into the end zone. Touchdown, Newberry. Markel Castle evaded 4 Carson-Newman tacklers on that play. Wimbush and Johnson in the backfield. Lone wide receiver split to the wide side left and 2 tight ends. Evans takes, gives on the dive, left side Wimbush. Wimbush sprinting free into the second level across midfield. Heading left sideline across the 45 into Wolves territory and forced out of bounds down at the Newberry 40. 33 yards for Antonio Wimbush, and that's the first 20-yard rush that Newberry has given up on the season. Campbell's snap is back. Heron's hold is down. Patterson's kick is on the way, and Patterson's kick is perfect. Caden Patterson, pure seconds left. Ruff, snap back. Looking to the right sideline, launches a deep ball, and that is intercepted. Picked off along the right sideline by Ray Arterbridge as the first half expires.
Those are the first half highlights. Eagles were down 10-3 at the halftime break. Mike, like I mentioned before the highlights, just the second time that Carson-Newman has trailed at the break in your tenure here as head coach. What was said in the locker room after a first half where you had 4 possessions, all of them cracked the 50, but 3 drives stall out after between 7 and 16 plays all around the 35?
Well, it's you know, it's one of those games where you're just frustrated, all right? And then as a coach, I can't be frustrated because that shows to the kids, and I can't. That can't show.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one calming force in there, it's got to be to those kids. It's got to be able to rally them, and you know, you try to go in there and you tell people that they're down 1 touchdown, then that shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? That shouldn't matter. You go back, we're better than they are, a touchdown or better than they are. And it's not about how, you know, it wasn't about how hard the kids were playing. It's about how well they were playing, right, and getting things done. So we tried to make a couple adjustments there and not anything that was wild or whatever. And in hindsight, should have stayed with exactly what we was doing because where we got the football wasn't conducive to what we were going to try to get done, to be honest with you. You know, our defense was in the game. We're a touchdown behind. We certainly were not going to set them up to give them something on that side of the 50-yard line and put our defense in jeopardy. We weren't going to do it. So we needed to make first downs and punt the ball if we had to. And Craig, our punter yesterday, did a great job getting the ball up in the air and getting some hang time to it. But no, at halftime, it's a lot more pleasant to be ahead to make adjustments than it is to be behind. And you know, when you look in kids' eyes, there was no panic. That was the great part. All right, it wasn't like, oh no, we're done, hope is gone, and all those kind of things. They were looking for answers, and the answers right in there, baby. There's what the answers are. Just go play harder.
You look at the second half, and you talked about the adjustments. Third quarter, neither team could get anything going. 6 3-and-outs in that period, 3 for Carson-Newman, 3 for Newberry. What was it about both defenses that led to that?
Well, I think in our case, our defense was going to make a stand, and they did. They realized they did exactly what we talked about at halftime. Go down there and get 3 and out, get off the field, get over there and get hydrated and get ready to go for the next time. And like I said, on our kids, we field position limited us. I'll just be honest with you. Now, you got to, when you do get in those positions, then you got to knock it out. All right, you got to knock it out. We had the ball at the 2, and we knocked it out there. You know, so that's not. That's just another chance to go get an 85-yard touchdown drive. Okay, that's all that is right there. But you sure do want to make sure you're getting first downs, that you are taking care of the football, that you are in that kind of game, that you understand where you are field position-wise.
Carson-Newman falls at Newberry 23-3. We'll take a more in-depth look at the second half after this on the Mike Turner Show.
I joined the Guard for the simple fact that I could be home and also in the military. So I can have a civilian job and also in the military. Fire low! Fire! I would tell somebody who's trying to join the Guard, thinking about it, that it's a great opportunity. Opportunities for school, training, discipline, leadership. There's a lot of opportunities. It broadens your spectrum of life.
Back on the Mike Turner Show as Carson-Newman falls at Newberry 23-3. I'm Adam Cavalier, the voice of the Eagles, alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Mike, a second half that, again, we alluded to it, the defense was there, but especially to Morris Coates, who continues to have a very sound and solid senior season, 13 tackles, a couple for loss. How much of a difference is he making as you shuffle some freshmen in and out of that linebacking core?
Well, he's making a difference. He is the senior leadership person. He's the guy that is going to call on them. He's the guy that, I'm talking to him coming off the field a couple of times after the defense has held him and trying to encourage, and he's fighting and he's battling to get that done. And I just wish I could say, hey, buddy, hold on right here. We got a touchdown coming. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And it does, man. I go out and pat on those kids and encourage them. And they played hard and they kept playing hard and they didn't back off. And so I'm very, very proud of our defensive staff and our kids on defense for how they hung in there and they didn't let up.
Late in the second half, you go shotgun, you go to the aerial assault a little more, and worked in spots, and you're a bobbled ball away from really moving the football down the field. How'd you feel about the 2-minute stuff when your back's really against the wall?
Well, I wished our backs weren't down 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? That was the biggest thing. But yeah, our kids did a decent job of protection. We've still got to work to continue to get better crispness of our routes. And then when you go in a 2-minute offense and you're down 2 scores, and we were, then you really got to have that urgency about you. You don't want to panic, but you got to have that urgency. And that's a tough thing for any kid. You're going down the field and you may throw an out cut here, and this guy's got to sell it out for 60 yards. Well, that same kid's got to get back, and our coaches did a good job of rotating people in to keep fresh legs out there. But you've got to go attack them in that period, and you just got to be urgent about what you're doing.
We've talked about the passing game before. Where do you feel like the passing game is after 4 weeks?
Well, I felt good last week about it coming on. I still feel good that we're getting there. We've still got some people in some positions that we think are going to make a difference that are still in the learning curve, I guess you would say. And we've got to continue to work to get that better. We've got to do more of that. We've probably got to throw the ball earlier and to do that and to push some people back.
At the same time, though, you say throw the ball early. How do you strike that balance when you have a possession like you had the 16-play, 82-yard drive where you accomplish all that, chunking 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, right. First down, first down, first down. Then when you do throw it, it was underthrown. How do you balance that?
Well, that is the hardest part. It's easy to say you ought to do this and you ought to do that. Anybody can do that. But you've got to feel like if we're getting the minimum of 4 on the snap, and we're putting the pressure on them, and we can go tempo and not necessarily let them get lined up completely before we snap the ball. And as long as that's working for us, then that's what we're going to do. That's a primary part of the offense. I think we've got to be more ready on first down to throw it, to put ourselves in position. But yes, play action, yes. But we've got kids that we can put a guy in a shotgun and put 4 wides out there and throw the ball down the field and be successful, and there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Carson-Newman falls at Newberry 23-3. Here are those second half highlights.
Castle to the short side right. Pistol look for Ruff on 1st and 10 from the Wolves zone 20. Handoff right side, Barnes. He's hit in the backfield by Montel Presley, and that's a good start. Dragged down for a loss. Back to the 18-yard line. Great pursuit by Presley up the middle. And a loss of 3. Eagles defense looking to stand tall here with trips wide receivers, the wide side left. Ruff in the gun. Takes the snap. Hands off to St. Hill left side. He's pursued and walloped by Timoris Coates, Darius Williams, and Jason Cook-Calhoun. Excellent pursuit to the edge. Eagles overloaded that side. 3 wide, man in motion, Lewis. They fake the jet sweep to him. Ruff back to pass, steps up. He's pursued, grasped, still on his feet, and Ruff finally goes down back at the 39-yard line. Brian Bembry, Antonio Henderson, the first 2 there. Eagles defense again holds tight. A loss of 6 on the play, back to the 49. Wide side right for the Eagles. Evans takes, drops back, out and up, over the middle of the field. Ed Aldridge hangs on. It's complete up at the 33-yard line. So Derek Evans takes to the air for a 23-yard completion to Ed Aldridge.
Domino's Pizza in Jefferson City and Morristown wants to help feed your business. When you're hungry at lunch, show your business card at Domino's in Jefferson City and Morristown when you make your purchase for pickup or delivery to get 25% off the entire order. That's 25% off your order at Domino's in Jeff City and Morristown when you show your business card. Call 865-471-6700 to get a pizza. Domino's, the official pizza of the Carson-Newman Eagles.
Welcome back on the Mike Turner Show. I'm Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. Now time for our Eagles Spotlight. And this week, Michael Wattrang puts it on preseason All-American safety Darius Williams.
Defined as a playmaker, Darius Williams was an All-American in 2017 after leading the SAC with 5 interceptions. His maturity is a byproduct of playing 3 years in high school for former NFL All-Pro running back Mike Allstott. His personal growth has continued in college at Carson-Newman thanks to veteran coaches.
Coach Slade, he's been with me since my freshman year. He's taught me a lot, everything about knowing plays and how to read plays and how to watch film and being a good safety, which drops I should make, how to backpedal and which breaking points I should have. Coach Slade really has taught me a lot. And Coach Goss coming in this year, his NFL experience has helped me a lot too. When I'm in the box, he'll show me how to read the guards and whatnot, and he's had a lot on my experience this year too.
Goss spent 7 seasons in the NFL and has been a college coach since 2000. The former 49er knows what it takes to be a great player, calling Williams a hard worker with a high motor, adept at preparation.
The things that you would normally take in and take into a game, he studies those type things. He studies the receivers that he has to cover. He studies the running backs, what type of moves he like when somebody's coming to front him up. What type of moves he has coming from the side. So he studies that. He knows that game plan, and he's almost like a coach out there on the field. And you have to be if you want to be that type of player, and he takes that very seriously.
Takes the snap, looks over the middle, throws a high wobbler down the middle of the field. It is intercepted in Carson-Newman's territory by Darius Williams. He works across midfield, down across the 34 left sideline. He has room to work with, cuts back across the field, 10-5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson-Newman.
After every game, after we watch the field, that's a cat that's going to give 100%. And, we talk about that. But when you watch tape, he gives that. Every play. Doesn't matter if he's in the play or he's pursuing the play, he's giving that 100%, and that's what you want right there. And that's what you want to be contagious for a great football team.
What pops up on tape for the coaching staff is what Williams hopes his teammates see. Despite being at the midpoint of his career, the Ball Hawk hopes his leadership gets the team into the postseason.
I'm more of a lead by example type of leader. I try not to voice too much because there's no point in voicing if you can't do it yourself on the field. You have to do it on the field, and then people will follow you from behind. And just being a leader from that perspective has helped me a lot. Going to the playoffs is a huge goal ever since I came in when I was recruiting. Coming to Carson-Newman has a lot of history of going to the playoffs, in which I haven't been a part of yet, which I would like to.
The individual honors from a year ago are not the focus for Williams, who said that he doesn't think about what he accomplished last year. It's a new playing field, and he wants to continue to improve each year. That mentality has been spread from his mentors since his early years of high school. For the Eagle Sports Network, I'm Michael Wattrang.
All right, thank you very much, Michael Wattrang, Mike Turner, Darius Williams. Been fun to watch him grow into the leadership role that he has now as a junior.
And what a fun kid to be around. He's a playmaker, going to make plays. He's an aggressive kid, and he's a guy that's about the team. You never see him, raising himself separate from anybody else. He's about this football team. He cares about the guys on this team, and he's the kind of guy you want to be around, and you want to see him do well.
Turn your attention now to, at long last, the conclusion of this opening month of the year that's featured 4 of 5 away from Berktar Stadium, but the road does not get any easier. Another great defensive team coached by Curtis Walker and the Catawba College Catawba Indians. A team that's probably smarting a little bit, lost at the Horn on the road to Mars Hill in the final minute on a last-minute touchdown pass from the Lions. What sticks out to you about Curtis Walker and the Indians?
Well, Curtis Walker is a great football coach, and he's done a great job at Catawba. His record shows that. Those kids play hard and they believe. Okay, they believe they're going to win. And I know this, in that defensive front, they're going to have kids that can run and run to the football, because that's what they go out and recruit. And it's always been one of those struggles and kinds of fights that you know what they're going to do, they know what we're going to do, and you line up and you get after each other. Catawba, they had All-Americans last year. They've got All-American candidates this year. So we expect a heck of a battle, and they're throwing the football more on offense, I think, right now than maybe what they have. And Saturday will be an interesting day, and it's a new day now because it's a more urgent day for us as a Carson-Newman.
How do you move forward here for the final week of September at 2-2?
Well, you've got to address what we did Saturday, address what we did well, address what we didn't do well. We've got to understand that we are who we are. We've got to understand that there's times called adversity, and this is a time of adversity. When you lose a ball game you probably shouldn't have, and you need to stand up and say, hey, how are we going to handle this adversity? Is it going to make it stronger? Is it going to make it weaker? But in this situation, what you need to do is make sure you circle the wagons. Okay, you circle the wagons and know that everybody inside those wagons, they're all looking in one way. They're all for us. They're all united. And there's that word again.
Mike, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you next week with the Catawba College Catawba Indians.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.
It's Carson-Newman head football coach Mike Turner. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. This has been the Mike Turner Show. Thanks for watching.